What's up, you guys? Welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna be trying a viral TikTok one ingredient recipe. So last night I was on TikTok and I came across a video of a girl that said you can make noodles with just one ingredient. So it really caught my attention. I watched the entire video and she actually did make noodles with only one ingredient. So then I was like, wait, is there more videos like this? So I started searching up on TikTok one ingredient recipes, and guys, there's so many recipes and so much food that you can make with only one ingredient. So I was like, you know what? Let's gather all these recipes, let's put them to the test, and let's see if we can actually make food with just one ingredient. So if you guys are excited for today's video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. So for the first recipe, we're going to be making marshmallows by just using gummies. So if you didn't know, marshmallows and gummies have the exact same ingredients. The only thing that's missing is air. So according to the TikTok video, you just take the gummies, you melt them, you put them in a mixer so they can get nice and fluffy, and so you can create air in the gummies, and then you put it in parchment paper, leave it for a couple of minutes, and then you should end up with marshmallows. So let's see if that's true. I got some of my favorite gummies, the cherry flavor. I already have my pan here that's nice and hot. We're just gonna pour the gummies in here. Of course, you guys can use whatever gummies you want. Again, these are just my favorite. So you're going to carefully just mix it until all of the gummies are fully dissolved. Guys, the gummies smell so good. I've never had cherry flavor marshmallow, so this is definitely going to be something very interesting. Guys, the gummies are fully melted. We have to do this very fast. So I already have my mixer here. We're just gonna lift it. I'm gonna take this thing off, and we're going to pour the gummies into the bowl very, very quickly. Let's put this in. Here comes the moment of truth. Here's a close-up, guys, of the gummy. See how the consistency is changing? It used to look very see-through like this, and now it's starting to look like it might work because it's getting nice and fluffy. I still cannot believe how much the consistency changed. Look at this, guys. I think this might work. This literally looks like a marshmallow fluff. I already have a bowl here with a parchment paper. You want to make sure you have parchment paper because if not, it's going to stick and it's going to be very hard to take it out. So we're going to attempt to take this and pour it into the parchment paper. Hopefully this works. This is so hard, guys. Like instantly it got hard. What if I just take it with my hand? Would that be easier? No, that's gonna be a bigger mess. I think I figured it out. It's much easier to take it away from the whisk itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the whisk back into the bowl and try to scoop as much of the gummy as I can. Okay, this looks like it might work. See, okay, that's gonna work better. Definitely.
It's like a big giant bubble gum.
Literally, look at that. And this is why we test things out to see if it actually does work, because you always see TikToks and they make it look so easy, and then you try to do it and it's not as easy as they make it look. It's like expectation versus reality. So I think this is the most we're gonna be able to get out, because as you guys can see, it's so hard to work with, but we got a decent amount in the parchment paper. Now I'm just gonna attempt to mold it so you can get at least probably like 4 or 5 marshmallow cubes, and we're going to pop it in the microwave, not in the microwave, in the fridge for at least 20 minutes.
One eternity later.
Let's check on the marshmallows and let's see if it did work. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Is it gonna come off the parchment paper? Perfect. It's definitely not fluffy like marshmallow. This is more like taffy. Look at this. Yeah, no, this is not marshmallow, but let's...
Oh my God. I wonder how she got into that consistency, the marshmallow consistency.
I have no idea. I followed the instructions, like the recipe to the T. I did everything the same, and I don't know what I did wrong, but let's give it a try. Hopefully, at least it's good. Okay, it's not marshmallow consistency, but it's so good. I'm gonna have to rate this cherry marshmallow / Laffy Taffy a 9 out of 10. For this next one, we're going to make a chocolate mousse by just using chocolate chips and a little bit of water. Now listen, I know this is 2 ingredients, but on TikTok it says 1 ingredient recipe, so technically it's 1 ingredient.
Technically water is not an ingredient.
Exactly. So we're just gonna take 1 cup of chocolate chips. Perfect. That's literally all I had, 1 cup. We're gonna put it in a blender. You're also going to take 2.5 cups of water, pour it into the blender as well, and you're going to blend this for 2.5 minutes. Okay guys, once it's all fully blended, it should look something almost like the chocolate milk, like this, super watery. Now we're gonna take a bowl. I'm using a small bowl, but you can use whatever size you want. And now we just put it in the fridge for 24 hours or overnight. I already placed one in the fridge. I did one last night, and let me show you what it should look like. So after 24 hours, guys, it should look something like this. And now we're gonna attempt to do what she did in the video. Take our spoon and let's see if it has a mousse consistency. Oh my God. It actually worked. Let's try it and let's see if it tastes good.
Bruh.
I'm gonna be honest. Yes, it does taste like chocolate and it has the consistency of mousse, but if you guys see, it's so watery. So final thoughts, yes, it does turn into a mousse, but it doesn't really taste the best. I'm gonna rate the chocolate mousse a 5 out of 10. Moving on, we're going to be making noodles by just using rice paper. You heard it right. So in the video, she takes 5 pieces of rice paper, she puts it underwater, and she pushes all of the water out so you can get rid of all the bubbles. Once you do that, the next step is you're gonna move it over to a plate. You're gonna place the rice paper on the plate. You're going to add some water on top, just a little bit, enough to cover it. You're gonna pop it in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. All right, guys, the noodles are almost ready. Let's see, did it work? Ooh, look how the consistency of the rice paper completely changed. Now we're going to put it into a cutting board because we're gonna cut it and we're gonna get the noodles ready. Whoa, it looks so weird. Okay, now we're gonna take a knife and we're going to cut the noodles. She did thick pieces, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing. All right, there we go. We cut all of the pieces. Let me give you a close-up of the noodles. Look how stretchy they are. Now they are a little bit sticky, but we're going to be adding some sauce. That should help them to not be as sticky. I'm gonna take my favorite Samyang carbonara sauce. I'm gonna pour the sauce into the noodles. I think that should be enough. We're going to mix it with the noodles until they're all evenly coated. Here comes the fun part. Let's try the noodles, but first, let me give you a close-up so you guys can really see. Let's try it. Guys, that's actually pretty good. It has like that chewy consistency of like thick noodles. The sauce was just like the cherry on top. I'm actually very surprised on how you can actually make noodles with rice paper. I'm gonna have to rate this 8 out of 10. For the next one, we're going to be making some homemade Cheez-Its, and you literally only need 1 ingredient, which is a thin slice of cheddar cheese. You're gonna take about 2 slices of cheese, or depending on how many Cheez-Its you wanna make, I did 2. You're gonna cut it into 4, and you should end up with mini cheddar squares like this. Now, the last step is you take a straw, you just press in the center, and you're gonna do the exact same thing for the rest of the cheese. Once you're all done, it should look something like this. Now we're gonna move over to the oven. I already preheated mine for 275 degrees. We're going to leave them in here for about 25 minutes. All right, there we go, 25 minutes. And while they're in here cooking, let's move on to the next recipe. For the next recipe, we're going to make a crepe by just using milk. So I have half a cup of milk. We're going to just put it in the pan. Now this might look a little bit weird, but in the video, she just did this, and then you let it completely boil. And once you start seeing a whole bunch of bubbles, you turn it out to low and you let it cook for 6 minutes, and you should end up with a crepe. So this is gonna be a little bit of a long process. So we're gonna let this completely boil.
5 minutes later.
Guys, this did not work. I had to turn it off because the entire milk evaporated and it was just burning. Like, where's the crepe? Hers looks so crunchy and so delicious, and then there's literally mine there's no crepes. So I'm just gonna have to say that this one ingredient recipe did not work for me. Okay guys, the Cheez-Its are done. They've been in the oven, but I was letting them cool down. I just want you guys to take a look at how good these homemade Cheez-Its look. Now we have to try them and see if they're really good. Are you gonna try one or no?
Ooh, I do want to try one.
Yeah, okay. Wait.
Oh, they're actually crunchy.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to bite into this. Okay, everyone be quiet. We're gonna bite into the homemade Cheez-Its. Cheers.
Cheers.
Never mind.
The texture is a bit like plastic. Like
yes.
It's crunchy, but it tastes like plastic.
The Cheez-Its flavor is there, but again, the texture is so tough to chew on. Yes, it does work. You can definitely make Cheez-Its with one ingredient, but is it good? Not so much. I'm gonna rate these a 5 out of 10. For the next one, we're going to be making some prosciutto chips. This is literally super, super easy. You just need prosciutto, pop it in the oven at 300 degrees for 13 minutes, and you're pretty much set to go. I'm just gonna do 2 slices of prosciutto just to give it a try and see what it tastes like. Here goes the first one and the second one. There we go. Now we're going to pop it in the oven, and we're gonna cook it for 13 minutes. And while this cooks, let's go ahead and let's make some mandarin ice cream. For the mandarin ice cream, it's literally the easiest thing ever. You just have to take a couple mandarins, peel them, and then put them in a Ziploc bag, pop them in the freezer for about 24 hours, and then you should end up with something like this. So all you need is just frozen oranges, pop them inside of the blender. Hopefully this works. Now let's blend. Since I'm not adding any juice in here, guys, it is going to get stuck. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to hit the blender so we can get all of the mandarin to the center, and then we're just gonna be pulsing. Okay, I think that looks good. We're gonna pour it into this bowl that I have here. Ooh, the consistency. No, this actually worked. It smells so good. Oh my God, I was so excited. Let's try it. Whoa, that is so good. It's sweet because of the oranges and also the consistency. It's like sorbet. That's literally how I could describe this consistency, guys. So good and so easy to make. I'm gonna rate this 8.5 out of 10. Okay guys, I took out the prosciutto from the oven and this is what it looks like. It is very, very crispy. Can you guys hear that? Okay, let's cut it in half and let's try it. This is so good. Literally tastes like bacon. It is super salty, but I love the crunchiness of the prosciutto. I'm gonna rate this 8 out of 10. All right, guys, that is the end of today's video. If you guys wanna see a part 2, make sure to like this video. Also, if you guys come across any one ingredient recipes or anything that you see that you want me to try out, make sure to tag me on my TikTok at Makeupbypita. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you guys can get notified every single time that I post a new video. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna win, yeah.